Amidst the broader geopolitical struggles of the Cold War, an unlikely conflict unfolded in the frigid waters of the North Atlantic, the First Cod War. This documentary explores the intricacies of this unconventional clash between NATO allies, shedding light on the economic, political, and environmental dimensions that defined the dispute over fishing rights. Join us on a journey through the icy seas where Cold War tensions flared over a seemingly mundane resource cod. 1. Introduction to the First Cod War. NATO allies at odds. The documentary begins by introducing viewers to the First Cod War, a series of confrontations that erupted in the late 1950s between NATO allies, the United Kingdom, and Iceland. Set against the backdrop of the Cold War, this conflict centered around the valuable resource of Atlantic cod. 2. The cod, a vital resource and economic lifeline. Focusing on the economic significance, the documentary explores why cod became a critical resource. From feeding local populations to sustaining national economies, the abundance of cod in the North Atlantic was a lifeline for both the United Kingdom and Iceland. 3. Iceland's territorial waters expansion. The 12-mile limit. Navigating through the early stages of the conflict, the documentary delves into Iceland's decision to expand its territorial waters from 3 to 12 nautical miles. This bold move was a response to overfishing concerns and sparked tensions with British trawlers. 4. The British response, naval escalation, and the Royal Navy's role. Focusing on the British reaction, the documentary explores how the United Kingdom responded to Iceland's territorial expansion. The Royal Navy was deployed to protect British fishing interests, setting the stage for confrontations on the high seas. 5. The inshore barrier, Iceland's unconventional strategy. Delving into the heart of the conflict, the documentary examines Iceland's unconventional strategy, the deployment of an inshore barrier, formed by Icelandic Coast Guard vessels to block British trawlers from accessing rich fishing grounds. 6. The Cold War context. NATO allies at loggerheads. Navigating through the broader geopolitical context, the documentary addresses how the Cold War dynamics influenced the Cod War. The clash between two NATO allies underscored the complexity of international relations during this period. 7. The negotiations. Diplomacy amidst the cold waters. Focusing on diplomatic efforts, the documentary explores how negotiations unfolded amidst the cold waters. Both sides sought a resolution to avoid further escalation, with diplomatic channels becoming crucial in diffusing tensions. 8. The resolution, compromise, and the Second Cod War. Delving into the resolution, the documentary examines how compromise ultimately ended the First Cod War. Agreements were reached, but this was not the end of the story, as the Second Cod War would erupt in the 1970s over similar issues. 9. Environmental impact. Beyond politics, the price of Cod Wars. Navigating through the aftermath, the documentary sheds light on the environmental impact of the Cod Wars. Overfishing and the depletion of cod stocks had far-reaching consequences, underscoring the delicate balance between geopolitics and environmental sustainability. 10. Legacy of the First Cod War. Lessons learned and unresolved issues. Concluding the narrative, the documentary reflects on the legacy of the First Cod War. The conflict left lessons about the complexities of resource management, international cooperation, and the interplay between environmental concerns and geopolitical interests. In essence, the First Cod War, Cold Waters, Hot Tensions, a Cold War documentary, unravels a lesser-known chapter of the Cold War, where icy waters and a seemingly mundane resource became the focal point of conflict between NATO allies. Join us as we navigate the turbulent seas where geopolitics and fishing rights collided, leaving an indelible mark on the diplomatic history of the Cold War.